Yeah, alright, ladies and gentlemen, here is one of the funniest and stupidest bouts of human interaction that I think I've seen in quite some time. Really is a great indication of where we're at today in society, and I think that place might be hell. So, naturally, we are off to America, land of the fat home of the moron. So I want you all to picture a Karen and a demented man of color, both of which clearly have too much fucking time on their hands. Woke Arizona education leaders are blasted after they mistook African-American DJ at school fundraiser for white man in blackface and wrote scathing complaints. This is where we're at in 2022, ladies and gentlemen. I have been racking my brain for the last day or so trying to think of a more whimsical example of the demand for racism clearly exceeding the supply. Like, if you can't even be a fucking black guy without a pair of cockwombles thinking you're a white dude cosplaying black, we need to step back and reevaluate society, maybe fire up the cannon. A pair of Arizona communist subversive experts have been blasted for falsely accusing an African-American DJ of wearing blackface at an event. I love how even the Daily Mail has the marks around experts. That's some quality journalism right there. Jill Lassen and Stuart Roden, I'm assuming that's how you pronounce those, who advocate for diversity at the Scottsdale Unified School District in various capacities, wrote scathing letters of complaints after DJ Kim Coco Hunter, I'm assuming that's a stage name, appeared at a PTA event and they mistook him for a white man. Stewart and Roden have since apologized, with some noting the irony of diversity and inclusion activists rushing to such false conclusions. Oh boy, where to start with this? Clearly, again, these people have far too much fucking time on their hands and they are extremely indoctrinated, that much is clear. But I want to know, what exactly is involved in your work for inducing diversity in your area? Exactly. I'm genuinely curious because, on the one hand, I'm thinking they either take their job far too fucking seriously, to the point where they're so thirsty for racism, they can't identify races and they think a black dude is white. Or they're the quality control and they're piss poor at it. You're racist either way, but I want to know, what the hell goes through your head that you are that desperate for diversity and racism that you think a white guy is going to an event in blackface and a PTA wanted that? So it's for parents and faculty. How did you get to this point? What exactly is lacking in your life that would lead you to complain about this of all things? How do you see a picture of a black guy and your first reaction is blackface racist white man? The tragic irony is I bet you these people learned absolutely fuck all from this. Now, let me interrupt my own video just to make a point here, because while this guy has been roundly and deservedly mocked for his antics, he's clearly an idiot, I'm not discounting that. All joking aside though, there is a serious discussion to be had around this issue on how on earth our societies have birthed anyone who thinks this ever. Because if you see this guy and your first thought is white guy blackface racist, you're clearly mentally unwell. And I'm not joking, I legitimately believe this. This guy is mentally unstable and he needs help. He has absolutely no reason for being involved in the education apparatus. Anyway, back to the video. Here's the guy's picture. Clearly black. I'll be honest, the first thought that went through my head is, that's what R. Kelly's up to these days. What? He looks like R. Kelly. Anyway, here are the pair of idiots who thought the DJ was white. So the guy on the left, who is an instructor at Arizona State University, who also serves on the Scottsdale School District's Equity and Inclusion Committee, tax dollars at work here, people. This guy, after the event, emailed the principal complaining about Hunter. Stuart, the guy is darker than you fucking idiot, and you're complaining he isn't black enough. Truth really is stranger than fiction these days. I would love to have been there with the principal just to see the look on his face after reading this complaint. I imagine he must have sat there thinking, this man is clearly out of his fucking mind. Now, this is where it somehow gets even stupider. The guy making the complaint, Roden, in a Facebook post, actually doubled down, writing, upon further review, after sending an email to the principal to express my concern, I think faux outrage are the words you're looking for, pal. All I received was that the DJ was a black man. Why did you write black man in quotation marks? That makes him look suspect. Oh my goodness. The PTA president responded that I would like to set the record straight. The PTA hired a black man to be our DJ. Please share with me how this is culturally unaware. I think that's supposed to be culturally unaware. So either him or the PTA president can't spell for shit. Not a good look here, people. Spell check is on bloody everything these days. English shouldn't be kicking your ass. Another parent got all up in my DMs telling how much they raise and that I was this and that and none of it positive. Yeah, because complaining to the principal about a dude blacker than you showing up to a PTA event in blackface makes you look like a fucking lunatic. Let me be clear, a black man apparently in blackface is an entirely different discussion than a white person. What the hell did this dude just say? I know what the sentence means, but the guy is black already. However, I did not state that the person was white. You didn't need to, dipshit. The guy is already black. What psychotic moron would think a guy who's black would dress in blackface? There's a sentence I never thought I would say. Because, again, it makes no fucking sense. It was assumed that was my intent, and perhaps it was. No. Oh, my lord. What are you doing, you fucking idiot? My God, talk about digging your own grave. But nonetheless, looking at his Facebook page, you actually stalked his Facebook page. Why? It seems at the very least he is in darker makeup, if not blackface, or I am completely mistaken and it's the lighting of the patio. Yeah, let's go with the Occam's razor and say it's probably that, you absolute loon. My goodness, reading this is like watching someone verbally commit suicide. What possesses any sane person to write this crap? Oh, this is quite remarkable. Now, before I go on with this, word of warning, I'm going to say some really based spicy shit. So if you're of a sensitive disposition, that's because you're gay. But anyway, this is going to sound a bit strange. And aside from the old theatrical practices and all, why is blackface racist? Imitation is supposedly the greatest form of flattery. Up until it isn't, apparently. For example, let's look at Trudeau here. Now, I'm not defending him, he's a tyrannical twat, but look at this. What are we actually seeing here? First off, he doesn't look black. He looks like someone who's been tarred without feathering. And his garb isn't African-inspired. He looks like Aladdin's gay concubine. He looks like he's been cleaning a charcoal chimney and then dressed like some Arab. I don't get why this is offensive. It looks like a blend of all things wacky. If someone came up to me and said, "Oh, that's so offensive," I would think, why? On the flip side, no one ever accused Michael Jackson of cultural appropriation, or Uncle Ruckus for that matter. But the view of this half is so strange and backward because we have this twisted, contortioned worldview where you have these idiots try and pervert all things sane and rational, claiming that something as solid as gender is in fact malleable, while proclaiming themselves to be the people of science. Good luck with that one, by the way. I guarantee you, if you don't put a lid on this crap and fire it out of the cannon, they'll eventually try and make race malleable as well. It wouldn't surprise me, especially if you have all of these people trying to demonize whites as evil. And don't be shocked if you end up seeing that shift. And the pro-diversity crowd are just anti-white, which makes even less sense still because their philosophical grounding comes from Europe. And this boggles my mind most of all. In Western societies, you can dress black, act black, and speak black. But if you're a white person who does this, you should be shamed. Because we aren't known for attire that exudes criminality. We aren't known for wilding the fuck out and going ape shit. Nor are we known for deplorably bad grammar. So why you would go out of your way to imitate the lowest on society's ladder is beyond me. Why would you go out of your way to imitate cultural characteristics that would hinder your progress in society? That makes no fucking sense. And this push for diversification is going to have horrible, very easily foreshadowable consequences because these people want to ostracize white people from positions of authority for people of color that have no qualifications other than their race. Case in point, the vice presidency. That bitch is a useless moron. So you are purposely trying to destroy competence and efficiency, meritocracy, and you are branding people of color with that association. Take that to its logical conclusion, and you are going to associate whites with superiority. The whiter the better is what you are pushing by doing this. If you happen to find an institution that's kept above water and it's full of diversity, you are going to think, where are the white higher-ups keeping this ship afloat? Because the richer the diversity, the harder it's failing. This looks like a giant push to inadvertently make white people look like the Ubermensch. And I said before, I welcome those who want to push for segregating themselves away from whites, because whites have the better culture, social etiquette, superior education, and financial well-being. So do try. And the funny thing is, no one puts whites on a pedestal more than people of color, but especially blacks. We are the revered and desired race. No one is going to say that out loud. That's horribly taboo. But I'm going to, because it's true. I'm not blind and I can see things. If you speak English properly, black people will say you are talking white. So they associate superior grammatical ability with white people. Black women will put God knows what in their hair, or rip it out entirely or dye it to get straight hair. European women are more desired and they want to look like them. Hell, some of them will even bleach their skin. Why? Because they want to attract a white partner. Look at Hollywood. Look at American athletes. The second they manage to attain a certain level of fame and fortune, they look for a white partner because we are seen as a prize. We are top of the food chain. Look at the squad. For all of their bullshit about being pro-diversity and complaints of white supremacy, every one of them has a white husband or boyfriend. Every one of them. And to all the worthless peons in Hollywood who constantly bitch about white people and how oppressive we all are, why is it then, when it comes to European timepieces, you people of color clamor so fucking hard to feature in them? Go make your own shit about your own history. But they won't, because that requires them learning about actual history of another culture that doesn't feature whites, so they don't have an evil white antagonist to blame for their ancestors' moral failings, and that is not compatible with their hypocritical present-day moral so-called standards. Our history is rich and interesting, full of kings and queens, castles, grand power politics, emperors and dynasties, great and powerful kingdoms and empires, and theirs sucks. Except for parts of Asia, their period pieces are awesome. Look at the new perversion of The Lord of the Rings Amazon is trying to shit out. It is hated because it is full of this crap. These idiots have successfully managed to associate non-whites with incompetence and poor quality. Well done. If you want to elevate non-whites, you have to teach them the ways of the Western European. That is why the upwardly mobile minorities outperform white people. But we don't have a problem with that. If you want to take all of the qualities that make a white civilization great and powerful and crank it into a higher gear, go nuts, more power to you. But the truth is, all of these people who bitch about whites all damn day, they are seething with envy. These people all want power and they all want to be white because they are desperately seeking the approval of whites. This is why they never make their own stuff. They just want to infect our works and say, please, please notice us. And they can't beat us, so they have to resort to this pathetic, underhanded shame tactic. But you are never going to get me to apologize for my ancestry. I am shamelessly pro-white. I come from Dutch and English stock. I am a descendant of world-dominating empires. Why in the hell would I ever apologize for being part of the victorious conquerors? And that's all for today. Until next time.